Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com. Hey y'all, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday. We're going to talk about 90 Day before the 90 days. I've got Kimberly here. And
Woohoo!
Kimberly, the name of this episode, season 6, episode 8, is Misunderstood. Now, it's a movie title, but it's not a movie that I'm aware of. Can you fill me in?
I wasn't either. I gave it a bing. It
Okay.
was in 1984, and it is a drama, a Tunisian based. Do we have anyone from Tunisia this season?
No. Uh-uh.
So that's why I don't know why. A Tunisian based shipping tycoon, played by Gene Hackman, has trouble
Uh-huh.
with his two young sons after their mother dies. I have no idea. Amanda and
Gene
Razvan?
Hackman is playing a Tunisian?
Shipping tycoon. Yeah. I can't. He might be Tunisian or he might just live in Tunisia.
Uh-huh.
Unsure.
Okay.
Um,
Uh-huh.
so it's like about having trouble with busy and often absent father must take care of his two boys after his wife dies. Oh, doesn't that suck for him having to take care of his children?
His own children.
Jeez. So
So,
I don't, I have nothing. It's based on a novel.
Jasmine has 2 children, Amanda
Right.
has 2 children,
Jasmine
Violet
has
has 2
two children,
children,
maybe, but we don't know.
maybe.
Might be her sister.
Violet has 2 children, Meisha has 2 children, and
Oh,
so
that's a good
maybe
call.
yeah, maybe.
But
I
that
don't know.
wasn't
I
even
wasn't
the
read
plot line here. Like,
No.
they mention
Mm-mm.
once Razvan not being, like, mature enough to handle having 2 kids.
It wasn't a plot line,
It wasn't a plot
anybody's
line.
children at all, so and neither was Tunisia and neither was Gene Hackman,
I'm
so
upset.
I
What are they doing? Are they just shifting? Did they have this cool idea at the beginning of the season and then they just stopped? No,
well, they're like,
we gave up
"Oh."
on that.
Yeah. Next week is I did see the title for next week's shoot. I've already forgotten it. But I've got too many
Yeah, I know.
90-day series going on in my head. So I
Mm-mm.
can't remember what the title for next week. I can barely remember the title for this week. It's Misunderstood, a Tunisian Gene Hackman movie. Um so all right. We are going to start with your couple, which you're
Oh boy.
excited that it's your couple. Sorry, I could tell you look like you're looking up the title of next week.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I got
Um,
distracted.
I find it so interesting that you do all your notes on your phone.
I don't. I type them on the computer and then
Uh-huh.
I email them to myself and then I open them on a fun, colorful notes app that I have. So they
Okay.
can all be different colors. This is how long I've been using this app. This is the Date with Dateline folder.
Uh-huh. Yes, it's
I
yeah.
mean, since for 6 years I've been using this app. I love this
What's
app.
the name of the
I'm a
app? Let's give them
pro
a shout
member.
out.
I think it's called Color Notes. It
Color
occasionally
notes.
has glitches. I think I'm a pro member. Oh
Of
no, I
course. It
need to
sounds like you
upgrade.
are. It sounds like
I
they
need
need
to
to
give them my money. I like to
hashtag
give my
ad.
money. Yeah, I really do like it. Uh,
It's called Colorful Notes.
Color Notes, I think. Yeah,
Color notes. All right.
yeah,
Well, everybody, if you want to be organized like Kimberly,
yeah.
go ahead and get that Color Notes app. She does
Mm-hmm.
not have an iPhone,
No,
so I
no, I
guess
don't.
you can get it everywhere.
And we're not making fun of me for it.
Nope, because then I have to
That
make fun of
sort
my
of
husband as well.
prejudice is done.
No, it's not. It continues.
I know.
And I'm a big believer in being prejudiced against people
I know
that
you
don't
are.
have iPhones.
I know.
All right, let's start with Jasmine and Gino.
We're starting with them?
Yeah, we're
Oh
starting with them.
boy. Okay. So, because just last week you said we have to end with them. So, this is a lot of change. So,
Kimberly, I'm mixing it up. I'm keeping
I
it fresh
know.
for the people. That's what I'm doing.
So, they're finally going to a therapist, even though, in my professional opinion, it is too late for that.
Hmm, hmm.
And there is giant word art that they keep focusing on the wall. It's the craziest. It's not live, laugh, love. It's a Harry Potter quote, actually. that
Oh,
I have artwork from that has that same phrase, but it's correct. This one is not translated correctly. That
what
Oliver, Katie's husband, gave to me.
what is
And
it?
it's happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if only one remembers to turn on the light. And
Well, can I
they
tell
had
you
it
that's also
very
a Grateful
close.
Dead that's a Grateful Dead quote. Once in a while, you get shown the light in the strangest of places if you look for it right. If you
Well, there
once
you
in a while, you
go.
get shown the light in the strangest of places if you look at it right. Yeah, so it's a trope, I get it, but you're telling me this Panamanian therapist had a misquoted Harry Potter quote on her wall.
Who also has a wall filled with toys. So I'm starting
Yeah.
to think she is a child psychologist therapist.
I couldn't figure out if she just collects things. She's a collector, and her husband said, or her wife, whatever, said, "Not in my
Not
home.
at my house, keep it at the
Take that
office.
shit to the office." Because it looks like every. I was studying it too. Every shelf seems to be a collection of something
Right, like you might not want little grubby hands
touching it.
touching it, little,
Mhm.
troubled children playing with it, taking out their aggression at their parents' divorce by ripping the heads off your dolls. But that with the Harry Potter quote made me think, "Oh, is he? Is she? I don't know. Maybe she does both adult, children, family." Apparently, she's a sex therapist now because Gino and Jasmine are there.
She's whimsical, is what she is. She's quirky.
She has the biggest smile on her face because she has no idea what she's in for.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's like someone at the beginning of a horror movie and they're like so excited to go to summer camp. You're like, "Oh, just wait. You have no idea." So she says, "Tell me a little bit about you guys." And I wish like I could have been there and just popped up and been like, "Well, he always wears that hat even when he's sleeping. He sent nude pics to his ex. She flipped his hat off on national TV. He was traumatized. She yelled about paint colors in a gym, and
Mhm.
this season their storyline is that she bought butt plugs, and he is not interested in having sex with her.
Well, that's it, guys. The podcast is over. Kimberly has summed it up.
Good luck.
A lot of people on the Facebook group were upset about him pulling the hat on over his ears because the top of his ears were in the hat, and people think that's very
Yeah,
strange.
I know. I That bothers
It
people, and I think they saw, what's his name do it too, Christian. They're comparing Christian to Gino a lot because he also is maybe going bald and self-conscious about it and is wearing a hat a lot.
Yeah, in the previews for next week, Christian is, not looking
Also
his
wearing a
best.
hat? Oh, no,
Also
he's
wearing
not.
a
He's in bed and it's really rough. Yeah.
it's rough. Yeah,
Yeah.
he could use a little fluffing up, as my mother would say. Just a little
Yeah.
fluff up. Yeah.
So Jasmine says, "We have trouble communicating without yelling at each other." And Gino doesn't really know how to use his words. He says, "She says bad things. She makes bad comments." Like, they're not just bad. They're horrid.
The
The
mean
mean
lady says
lady
bad
hurts
things to
she
me.
hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
And I just found out she's been talking to her ex and moved into his building, and the counselor kind of perks up like, "Oh,
Mhm.
this is juicy." She gets,
Mhm.
"Okay, we have real trouble here." And Jasmine says, "We meet to talk about Gino. That's all." Like, that makes it better. "We're only
Right.
meeting to talk badly about you. It's fine." And I'm friends with him because we had great communication in our relationship. Why is she just digging? Like, she's poking.
I don't know.
She she has a problem. So, she says, "We have intimacy issues, and it's not that I wanna be pleased all of the time, but just to give you example, I'm not sexually satisfied." Which is not an example, but
Yeah.
she that's the problem. "He
Uh,
pushes me away and has made comments about my private parts."
yeah, that was interesting.
I'm very upset if that's true. That's not cool, Gino.
Well, she
I'm not
explained
s
it.
but then in her story, he wasn't, but he was still being a total jerk. Like, he's not okay. They're both horrible.
Well, she was in the shower, and he came in there to say something to her, and it sounded like she was
Trying to be
stuck her leg up on the glass
and was like,
like
"Look
a
at my labia."
yeah, that
And
it sounded like she was
He was like, "I'm trying to talk to you about what we're gonna make for dinner. Can you please
Can
put
you
your leg
just
down?"
not spread it for the people? My god,
Yeah.
yeah, alright, yeah.
But he wasn't into it, and he says, "Well, I was trying to talk to you. Believe me, I like looking at your private parts."
Mhm.
And they keep
Yeah.
saying private parts. I just couldn't. Also, the funniest part is, like, sometimes in therapy, like, this therapist has to draw people out and get them to trust her. She literally just said, "Tell me about yourselves," and it's been a 25-minute rant involving labias. She's like, "Oh, I guess I don't have to talk at all here." So, Jasmine says, "I felt rejection when you did that, and I have abandonment issues because my dad walked away when I was 3, and she doesn't take rejection well because of that." And she starts crying and she says, "You made me feel ugly and all I want is love." It's very sad. Again, if she was a nicer person to him, I would feel very badly for her. And I still do.
Yeah,
I do. She has a lot of issues. And
sure does.
I feel like she's needed to go to therapy for herself to deal with this for a long time and
Totally.
maybe not be in this toxic relationship. She needs to be her own Prince Charming, as I always say on A Date with Dateline. So date yourself, girl. So she says they've been dating 2.5 years and they've only had sex 7 times. She's
Alright,
keeping
so let's think
track.
about it, but let's think about how many times they've probably been together in person. Like, let's just say they've been together in person 4 times.
Yeah. So like
That's
1.5 each trip.
yeah, 1.5 each trip, I think, is all he's given.
That's
And
all.
she's already gotten the half of a bone for this trip, we know, because she
Yeah.
was proud of him because he took his blue pill. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Even with the blue pill, that's it. And he
Yeah.
says, "Well, I'm not into it when we're fighting and when you're putting me down." Which again is totally valid, even though
Yep.
he's horrible. I still think he's right on this. And the therapist says, "Gino, you could bond with her intimately. Why
Mhm.
aren't you doing that?" And I was like, "Don't put the blame on Gino for this." And Gino goes, "Don't put the blame for me on this." And he says, "Wait, wait, wait. I want to make sure you're not telling her that she doesn't need to work on these things. And it's just me that has to work on these things." And the therapist says, "Is that how it's coming across?" And he's like, "Yes." And you're taking her side on this. And the therapist says, "Are you afraid of that?" Which is one of those therapist questions, like, "Is that one of your fears?" And
Mhm.
she's pouncing. And he says, "Our intimacy used to be better." And she says, not really. My worst sex is with Gino."
See, that's where Jasmine is just like, you were getting him to talk and you were going back and forth, and then you gotta, like, zing him, every
Mhm.
time, every time.
And he points to the therapist with his pointer finger out. He's like, "That's why I don't wanna have sex with her, because she says things like that." And the therapist is, like, watching it like a ping pong match, just back like a telenovela, like, "Oh my god, what's gonna happen next?" And so the therapist says, "You have to talk to each other and not insult each other, Jasmine. You need to maybe write things on a piece of paper and burn them like they do in these when they're breaking up with their boyfriend before you go to talk to him. So you'll have gotten out the anger and the bad words, and then you'll talk to him like a normal person." And that is good advice. And Jasmine is nodding her head, but kind of like nodding it at Gino, like, "See, Gino?" Which is like, no, she's saying that you're the one that's at fault now. So you're not listening. And Gino says, um, she says, the therapist says, "See, these notes app doesn't work that well. Sometimes I get lost." Then the therapist says, the therapist has very strange advice again. She says, "Gino, you're clearly not the one with the anger problem. She is a demon woman screaming at you and you're just sitting there. Um, but what could you do in the moment to control yourself, put the fire out?" Which is not his responsibility. She needs
Yeah.
to be on medication. Like, this is not his responsibility to put the fire out when she's irrationally yelling, is it?
Yeah, but I think that we probably missed 30 minutes of this session where they like, what is it? Why is she mad? You know what I mean? Like, what is it that gets her mad? So it's like you gotta
Right,
figure out, like, not just all of a sudden does she walk in and, like, lose her shit about a fork
right.
or a sock on the
That was
floor. You gotta
him that lost
yeah,
because he didn't have the
that's
proper
right.
utensils.
So you're trying to figure out, like, what is it that makes her go off? Not that it's his responsibility to whatever. They're both so at fault that I
They
can't even talk myself in a circle to figure out who is the one that needs help here.
And I'm still not convinced that some of what she's saying where she was like, "I'm nice to my exes. Look how nice I am to Dane. You are the one
Uh-huh.
that makes me crazy." That
Yeah.
might be true, but, like, he might just be driving her crazy and pushing all her buttons, but that doesn't really sit right because her friends have always said she's very jealous, and
Yeah.
so
And
I think it's partial they're just oil and water, oil and
yes.
match, oil whatever the metaphor is, and they shouldn't be together. It's that.
Okay. Is that the end of their
That's
session?
no.
Oh, okay,
So
sorry.
Gino agrees to try, and he's gonna work on it, even though I don't think that's his responsibility. And then Jasmine offers, "I will never speak to Dane again because it bothers you, and that I
Mhm.
want you to know that you are the most important person in my life, and I wanna make it work." And it was very sweet. And the therapist says, "I also think you need to not just talk about these issues and fight all the time. You need to go have fun and build some good memories while he's here visiting. So when these fights come up, you will also have these happy memories and it won't just be toxic all the time." And I thought that was good advice. And
Yeah.
Gino says, "I want to make it work." Where in the trailer, the therapist said, "Gino, do you want to make it work?" And then it was like, dun, dun, dun. And he's pausing for a really long time. No, he said, "Yes, I do."
I'm not buying anything in the trailers anymore. They've been tricking me for
They
too
are
long.
liars.
I will tell you a little piece of scoop that a listener wrote me and literally said her sister lives across from where Gino lives, and Jasmine is there in Canton, Michigan.
I knew it. I
Yeah.
figured my
She
dad is
said
going to be so excited.
she said,
This is all he
"Look,"
wants is to
she said,
see
"Here she is."
Jasmine.
It was like a picture from the driveway, like from the sister's driveway across the street, and there's a woman with black hair, like, with short black hair because her hair's short
Oh,
right now,
right. Yeah.
walking up the driveway, and she has on, like, red, workout pants and, like, a white tank top or whatever, and then she was like, "And look at this," and she showed me her Instagram story from that day, and she's in that outfit.
There you go.
Yeah,
Good
and she's
detective
tagging
work.
she's tagging everything Panama City, you know? Yeah.
Sneaky. I wonder what she
We
thinks of Michigan.
I'm sure we're gonna find out in another season, don't you think?
That's
Yeah.
all my dad wants, is to see her,
Really?
like, eating at the, Cracker Barrel, and, like, figuring out life in Michigan.
Yeah, I think you can go to IKEA. They have an IKEA there. That's exciting.
Yeah,
And, she can paint the apartment because she's not happy with this paint colors from that whore ex-wife.
but she would need to, like, sand the walls because if the paint is so offensive, it's not enough to just cover it up. You have to scrape it off, I think,
Oh, okay, to get rid of the
or
bad
just burn
juju.
it down because there might be DNA cells.
Gross. Um, alright, so we're done with them, correct?
Yes.
Let's move on to some more sex talk. It's Statler and Dempsey.
Mm,
Um, I am Dempsey and Dempsey is me when she says, "Enough sex talk." I've had it.
I'm worried
It's
for them because Statler has a huge sex drive and Dempsey's just not that person. This
yeah,
could be problematic.
I think she's just like, "Simmer down now," for
Maybe they
sure.
need like a third and they could just go have sex all the time. And then the romance will be betwixt them.
Yeah, I think Statler can just maybe calm down just a little bit.
She
Just like
could. She's like a bunny. She's like hump 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 hump.
yeah, yes. It's like, just, like, give it a beat, girl, give it a beat. So, all right, so Statler, 33, and Dempsey, 26. So, they're in a cab headed
Oh,
to the
Dempsey, yeah, a bit younger than her.
uh-huh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense too.
So, this is when they went from the street corner, now they're going to the hotel. And Statler is, on and on telling Dempsey how gorgeous she is and everything. And, Statler says she and her parasite are feeling a lot better. So that's good. That's good that the
Again, I do not believe she had a parasite. I'm
Yeah, I
happy it
think
gave Jake a voice to do on Reality
uh-huh.
Gaze, but I don't
Right.
think there was an actual parasite. I think it was
Right.
anxiety, panic poops, irritable
So,
bowel.
and she has IBS, she said.
Yeah.
So of course it's all of it. So and her anxiety is gone and they're looking around and it's like, "Do you like Manchester?" "Yeah, it's nice." "Hmm. Cool. Great." And the Statler's like, "We are so awkward. This is
Actually,
so
I've been in the
awkward."
toilet. I haven't done much sightseeing. I have been pooping a lot.
She's like, "Yeah, I'm looking out this window at this dark town. It looks great." And it's just like awkward, awkward. We're so awkward. So Dempsey says seeing Statler in person is like a mind fuck after 7 months of talking online. And yeah, I'm nervous when around her because it's crazy, right? So they get to the hotel and they have gifts. Statler unwraps some dead framed bugs from Dempsey, which was a pretty nice gift.
It
She
was
says,
very thoughtful. It's exactly what
very
she liked,
thoughtful.
and she
Hmm.
went out of her way on her trip in Thailand to get them.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was sweet. And Statler's like, "Oh, I got you a gift, but now what I'm realizing is it's a gift that I would want that I got for you. So you probably don't want it anyway." She opens it up and it's like a metal ant that has like movable legs.
I love that Dempsey is laughing though in her interview,
Yeah.
like she cannot stop laughing about
Yeah.
that
She's
she
like,
got the present that she would have bought for herself. Like, why did she give me this? This is for her. But she's laughing. But
yeah,
that
she's
sort of selfishness will not be fun later on. That's
nope.
maybe fun at the beginning.
Mm-mm. And now we've seen Dempsey's her place. So I don't know if that's gonna fit with her aesthetic.
Decor,
Yeah.
those wicker baskets. I don't know if
Yeah.
the ant goes with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dempsey gets in the shower and she's like, "I'm gonna take a shower." And of course, Statler's like, "Alone? Do you want me to come in?" Okay. So when she gets out of the shower, she comes out. She's like in a sleeping bra and shorts, just like whatever she's gonna sleep in. And Statler gets into like a t-shirt and shorts and was like, I could kiss you, or she's like, "No." And she goes, "That would be awkward, like on a scale of 1 to 10." She's like, "Okay, stop." She's like, "Okay, sorry." And then her interview, her talking head, Dempsey's like, "We haven't even kissed yet." And Statler's already talking about sex, but sex is intimate to me and I need to take it slow. And I don't understand why she's just like on it so fast. So then, of course, we wake up next day, but we
Wait.
like draw away from the hotel room and
Yeah.
we see Statler like trying to get in there. And Dempsey's like, "Stop." And she's like, "Okay, yeah, sorry, totally didn't mean to touch you. Sorry, sorry."
I mean,
She's like a
less
horn
aggressive
dog.
than Kim with Usman when she was like,
Yeah.
"Have sex with me now." But still,
Yeah, true, true. So the next morning they wake up and Statler's like, "I'm exhausted, physically mostly." What a night.
wink, wink.
Wink, wink. So they are doing their little talking head together and they say their first kiss was awkward and they laugh about that, but they got better at it. And Dempsey's like, "Yeah, we got better at it." And so they say they had sex. So Statler's talking to Dempsey about her ass and how amazing her ass is. And then she proceeds to discuss her P word and what it tastes like and how amazing it must be. And it must be her vegan diet. And I was like, "No, Matt Sharp, I don't need this. Nope, I
She
don't.
says
I don't
that
need
should
it."
be the advertisement for veganism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, she calls her butt explosive, and I just feel like after you've had explosive diarrhea, you don't want to be talking about a butt and calling it explosive. I
Yeah.
can't get it
Statler's,
past the diarrhea. I'm glad they're having sexy time, but all I can think about is the diarrhea.
yeah. And she had a parasite. She had a
Yeah.
parasite and now they're banging. So,
Yeah.
then Statler says, "Did you, I've never had a wax before. Did you like it? And, are
Wow.
you waxed?" And Dempsey goes, "No." And Statler's like, "Well, you're really smooth down there. And let me feel it again to be sure." And Dempsey's like, "No, enough with the sex talk." And I was like, "I am Dempsey. Dempsey is me."
Maybe
Yeah.
we're just
Dempsey's,
old and like
it could
prudes.
be, could
People did
be.
not used to talk about this stuff on TV.
No,
Now it's just they
no.
talk about everything.
And now I want to know, how is Dempsey so smooth with no waxing? Maybe she's a shaver. I don't know.
Yeah, what's her
It's like,
secret?
I don't
The
know.
vegan
Yeah,
diet, I guess.
it's the vegan diet. She's like me. She's a hairless cat. So, um, talking head Dempsey says, "I feel insecure because Statler is more experienced in the bedroom than I am." And she likes like whipping and chains and stuff, and she's been to sex parties, and I worry that she'll leave me because her needs aren't being met, which I think is a legit worry,
Yeah.
you know? Mm. So then they're going to go to Dempsey's caravan. Now, is caravan another word for mobile home?
I couldn't
It-
figure that out, but
Did
I
you hear
think
that sound? That was my stomach. Oh my God, that was so loud. Did you hear it?
No, I didn't. Oh, no.
Oh my gosh, it made the loudest sound. Guys, I have had diverticulitis and I haven't eaten in 3 days, and my stomach is making the craziest sounds. It is like my stomach sounds like Jake's parasite voice. Um, okay, a caravan. Is a caravan like a mini mobile home? Because it is it
Or a trailer?
a trailer? Yeah.
Yeah.
Super, super nice, whatever it was.
It was adorable.
Yeah.
I
Um,
would hire her to build my van out because I just think she'd make a really cute camper van.
Yeah, she has got cute style. So Statler says, "I'm worried about the caravan. I'm a city girl. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know how it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna work." So they get in a car and they're headed out to the farm. It's a 2 hour drive. It's beautiful. And Dempsey says, "I was in Thailand for 5 weeks. I haven't been home. My place isn't clean. It hasn't been saged."
Oh, no.
So you're telling me, and I think this is true. I think she was in Thailand for 5 weeks with that backpack with the Birkenstocks hanging off of it.
Yeah, with her dad.
5 weeks with a
She is
backpack.
non high maintenance person. She is a low maintenance person.
She is low maintenance, and you
Yeah.
see that Statler has, like, 3 huge suitcases.
Yeah. And is curling her eyelashes.
Yeah, that's how I am. I always have too much luggage. So, she hasn't staged her home, so she hasn't got the bad energy out that
Why
came
would
in
there be
through the
bad
windows.
energy?
I
Yeah,
don't
did
know.
it seep in? I'd be more worried about rats, personally.
Good point. So they're chatting and she says, "This is the first time anyone's ever stayed with me in my caravan, and I hope you're going to get to meet some of my friends." So Statler says, "Am I going to get to meet your dad, since your dad's like your best friend in the whole world?" And she says, "Because I'm very serious about you, and I want to meet your dad." And Dempsey's like, "Well, he knows we're speaking, but he doesn't know like who you are." And Statler's like, "This is weird. You just spent all this time in Thailand with your dad. I think I would be like a big subject, but like, who am I to you?" Which I think is a great point.
She is wanting to move there
Yeah.
without telling Dempsey. She is going to, if she loves it, fly back home, pack up all her stuff, and come right back and live there permanently.
Yeah.
And Dempsey has not even told her dad.
Right.
They're on
They're
completely different pages, which
totally.
is
Dempsey's like,
always
slow
in
down.
this show. A
Yeah.
caravan looks to be like a mobile home trailer,
Hmm.
something like that. Yeah.
Caravan's a cuter word than trailer.
Yeah, I mean, here we call caravan like when you're driving a bunch of cars in a row towards the
Yeah.
same
Right.
destination.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for explaining that to me. I wouldn't have known.
In case you have, I don't know if you have listeners in other countries.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you were explaining it to me. I was like,
No,
I
no,
know, I know what it is.
no.
Um, so they talk more, and Dempsey says, "Yeah, my dad's only liked some of my girlfriends." And in talking
Mm.
head, she was like, "My dad's super protective, and I haven't told him about Statler because I need to get to know her more before I introduce her to my dad," which I think is also valid.
Yeah.
I think
Again, you're
Statler's
just
going a
not on
little
the
too
same
fast,
page, though.
not on the same
Statler is
page.
for sure going too fast, and that is her pattern. Her
I
friends have
think, yeah,
said. Yeah.
yeah. So they arrive at the caravan, which is super cute. And she says, "Yeah, I did it all myself and everything." And Statler's like, "I'm super impressed. She did all this, even though it is pretty small." And what Dempsey doesn't know is that Statler wants to move to England if everything works out. And this place is going to be too small and cramped for her. Oh, okay. So Dempsey has spent probably a year making this place exactly perfect. And then
Uh-huh.
now Statler's like, "But when I move here, we have to start over in a
Wait, you're
three
moving here?
bedroom."
I
Oh,
was
wait,
not
what?
aware.
Are we dating? Thought we were just, yeah. So the bathroom for number two is across the way. She can't go number two there because it's not plumbed yet. So I guess you can pee in the toilet and then pour the water in the tank and flush like we've seen on some of the shows. But to go number two, you can't do that. You have to go across the way. And she's like, "So do you want to eat? I don't have any food." But We could eat something.
You
We
could
could
go
eat the
catch some
chocolate that I gave you.
bugs outside.
So they eat the chocolate that Dempsey gave to Statler for a gift. And talking head, Statler goes, Dempsey, she could be the love of my life. I'm ready to start the rest of my life with her. So I hope she feels the same. Spoiler, it doesn't seem like she
It doesn't.
does.
No, it's too fast.
It's too fast. It's too fast. It's been literally one day. They've had one night together. And she's like, I'm
Yeah.
ready to spend the rest of my life
And
with
you
her.
already did this with a different British lady.
Yeah. But you're there, and that British lady changed her mind. So you could call her if Dempsey dumps you.
That's true. Backup
That's
plan.
true. Backup plan. All right, let's move on to Amanda and Razvan. What color
Absolutely.
are they on your color notes?
No, it's all blue today. This is just the
Oh,
color I chose for the whole.
okay.
I do it based on mood, and if I need a perk of energy, then I'd pick like a brighter color that maybe hurts
Okay.
my eyes a little, so I'll have to focus more. Um, and then if we were doing yellow jackets, I'd probably pick lavender, heliotrope, because
Heliotrope.
it's for the
Gotcha.
show.
Hmm.
But also it's a random color. I have it set to pick a random color each time I open it. Anyways, but if it's like
Okay.
yellow, like or orange, I change it. I hate that.
Yellow's
So
hard. That would be really hard to read.
yeah.
Yeah.
So poor Amanda.
Mm.
Her screen time has been cut for the last 2 weeks. And now
Yep.
she's back on, and her plot line revolves around her period. So why are they back? I feel like this show should maybe just stopped. Like it
Yeah.
halfway through just stopped and then not really explained why. So
She is such a Debbie Downer. Everything
she
is
really is.
wah, wah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And again, she's been through something horrible, and she shouldn't
Yes.
have been on the show to begin with.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
they're snipping at each other over the coffee maker, and he says, "This is not how I thought it was going to be. I thought we would be making love nonstop." No. And so he tells her he wants to be more intimate, and she says, I'm on my period. And he says, "So you've been here for like 4 days, we haven't had sex, and now it's gonna be another week. And so I think we just need to do it with your period. A real man have his sword with blood," which I'm cross-stitching on a pillow. And
Oh my god.
which
Oh my
made you
god.
more
Mhm.
uncomfortable, Statler and Dempsey or this conversation?
Oh, that one comment
Yeah.
made me that one comment really grossed me out. Really grossed me out.
So she's just biological, Mary Payne.
And she's like, first of all, I don't even think she's having her period. I
Yeah,
think
I think she's not ready yet.
she doesn't want to have sex with them. And
Yeah.
she's also like, there are cameras here. What the hell did I do? Why
Yeah.
did I come here?
Why did
Yes.
this is the worst decision. And she says she's not really comfortable to have sex with him because she's really only been with her husband because they got together when she was 19. So
Yeah.
all of her first everything is about the husband. So he wants to go swimming, but he bought her this swimsuit and she is like, "I don't like it." And so he says, "Okay, I guess we'll return it." "Why don't you
She's
like
not
it?"
even nice about it. She's
"I
not even
don't
nice
I
about
don't like
it.
that kind of top. That's not my style." And then she tells us, "Well, it's very nice that he bought me a gift." She doesn't tell him that. She just says like, "I don't like it." And then
She is okay.
she says this is her safety mechanism. It's like pushing him away and being rude.
Yeah.
And so she says, um, "It's very nice that he got me a gift, but he's the first man that's gotten me a gift since my husband died, and it's making me feel guilty." The fact that a bathing suit top is like making you feel guilty means that you're not ready because you could do this forever. This is the first man that bought me a taco after my husband died. This is the
Yeah.
first time I've gotten a speeding ticket. Well, I have this new boyfriend. Like
Yeah.
anything could, because there's going to be lots of firsts and you're maybe just not ready yet.
Yeah.
And so they're leaving to go exchange the bathing suit and she's complaining about something else and it said inaudible on the screen. So I couldn't even tell what she was complaining about, but it was something about shoes. It was just like, "Something in his shoes." And I was like,
Oh, you know what she said? Because they're walking out the door and she said, "You look nice." And he goes, "Oh, thank you." And then she goes, "Except for this pile of shoes." Because I think like he had a pile of shoes by the door. She said, "You look nice." And then he goes,
yeah,
"Oh, thank you." And then she had to make a comment about the pile
yeah.
of shoes by
Her
the door.
love
It's
language is bitching.
it's not your apartment. Who
Yeah,
cares if it's his apartment? He can put shoes by the door if he wants to.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is now the second time we've seen them in a store, which at first I thought was because they're just so boring and they're taking scenes that normally would be on More to Love or whatever the show is where they add extra clips,
Yeah.
and it's always them shopping for some reason. And but this scene was kind of important. She has to pick out a swimsuit and he says, "How about something black?" And she says, "There's nothing really black here." She's literally standing in front of a row of black bathing suits.
I could tell if they were bras or bathing suits, though. I was like,
There
"Is
were
this
some that were bathing suits and some that were
Yeah.
bras, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, she picks out one that she likes, and he starts joking that, "Oh, that was gonna be my first choice anyways when I was here, but the sales lady talked me into buying that ugly one that you didn't like." And he tells the sales lady to play along, and she's like, "Yep, that's exactly what happened." And they're all joking around, and I was like, "Why are we watching this scene? This is unnecessary." And then the sales lady says, "Do you like Romania?" And she says, "Yes." And he says, "I told the sales lady all about Amanda when I brought the first swimsuit." And she says, "Does she think she could see herself living here?" And he translates and Amanda says, "No, I have kids, so I don't want them to live here. And I don't like it here," basically. And then the
Mhm.
lady says, "Oh, I forgot she has kids. She looks so good for having kids." And it's just very long, the scene, and you're like, "Why is this here?" Also, if this was any other couple, the girl would be burning the shop down because her boyfriend is talking to another woman.
Yes,
But
correct.
she doesn't seem to care. She thinks it's kinda sweet that he was telling the sales lady about her. And can you imagine Mary and Brandon from the other way? Like, what she would do if he was
What
talking
if
to this
if
sales
if
lady?
he even looked at a
Walked
lingerie
by that
shop?
shop, like,
Yes,
walked by
that'd be
that
it.
shop.
"Don't come here, I hate you."
This street is off limits. So the sales lady says, "Well, does she wanna have kids with you?" And he says, "Yeah, like 3 or 4." And then he translates to Amanda and she says, "What? No, none. We're having none more kids. I don't want any more kids." And it's again, they never talked about this. So she doesn't know if he's joking or not. And at the beginning, she had said, "I don't want any more kids." And he said he didn't really care. And so
Mhm,
they dropped it. They never discussed it again because it's one of
mhm.
those issues you just talk about once. You don't have to talk about it more than that.
If you're gonna be together forever, you should probably not
Just once.
solidify your feelings on it,
Religion,
right?
children, money, just once, and then you're done.
Just once, then you're done,
And
right?
so Amanda calls her sister and she's saying, "Oh, I'm enjoying it. He always wants to hold my hand. He's so much cuter in person." And but then she complains, "He's too pushy. He wants to come to America right when I leave, get his visa and come. And I don't think he's ready to be with me in mom mode and deal with kids and stuff." And then he said he wants more kids. And the sister says, "You're thinking way too far into the future. This doesn't have to
Mhm.
be forever." And Amanda says, "Well, it does if he's my forever person that I'm supposed to be with forever." And the sister says, "Is he?
Let
Does
him
it? Couldn't you just date him? This is your first boyfriend
Right.
after your husband died. Couldn't you just date?" And and Amanda says, "Well, that's why I'm here to find out if he's my forever person for the rest of my life. He's going to be the second father to my kids. That's why I'm here. I'm putting no pressure whatsoever on this trip."
God, but then she won't even sleep with him or be nice to him.
She has her
That's just
walls up still.
yes.
Yeah, but at the same
Yeah.
time, yeah, she wants him to prove that he could be the man of her dreams and a father to her children, but she won't let him meet the children. She has issues. She should not be on this show. Also, she's not
No.
likable. I'm sorry. I know she's been through a lot. She's not likable. She is
I mean,
Eeyore.
it's interesting too that she's like, "I met my husband when I was 19, da, 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 da." Well, I mean, we know he was married to somebody else, and I think she was like his Hooters waitress, and then,
Yeah,
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 it's
and she
the whole
was way
story's
younger. Yeah,
way younger.
it's not
It's
as
not the
cute
whole
as you
thing is
think the
not
story is.
it's
Yeah.
not as cute, yeah, but all these stories always have something an element it's not as cute as you think it is.
Uh-huh.
So
There's just a
speaking of
level. It's like, was he cheating and she was way younger, or was it like he has like a kidnapping charge in his past? So it's like
either
there's always a spectrum of that part of the story not being as good.
both aspects of what you said are bad. There's
Yeah,
no good
there's
yeah,
no
right.
good, but there's just like felony charges or just poor taste. like, what's his name? What is his name who has the kidnapping charge? The DV charge. Um,
Oh, I can't
Vanya?
remember his
Is her name Vanya or something like that?
mhm. Varya,
Varya, yes.
but what was his name?
Can't remember.
Can't
We've
remember.
stricken it.
Too many people.
Yeah, one of
Too
many
many.
times when this show did not do background checks on its
Mm-mm.
people.
So now we're gonna
Jeffrey,
do
his name was Jeffrey,
yes.
but it was spelled Geoffrey with a
Yeah,
G.
Joffrey.
Yeah.
Joffrey. All right, so let's go to Riley and Violet. Okay, now I will say regarding these two,
Yeah.
this week I didn't like the way he acted, but I kind of didn't like the way she acted either. They're both
Yeah.
very immature for being
When
in their
I
40s.
saw their age popped up
Uh-huh.
during their hero shot, and I was like, they're in their mid to late 40s. Why are
Yeah,
they acting like this? This
I
is
know.
embarrassing.
I agree. I
Maybe they're
agree.
made for each other because
They're both real petty.
they're both
Yeah.
very petty and immature. Yeah.
So did you notice that while they're on this date that she was wearing the pearls that he got her?
I did notice that. That was
I just
nice.
noticed that. That was
That
nice.
was
Yeah.
nice.
Even though she thought they were stupid.
Yeah.
So back at the dinner table, and his friend slash sister, who I would like to say publicly, Kimberly was right. It is not his sister. It is his
Thank you.
friend that he considers his sister. Public apology to Kimberly. She was right. I was wrong.
Thank you. Unnecessary, but thank you.
So friend slash sister Tiffany says, with her giant sunglasses,
Did you feel
says,
like that's a little rude if you're confronting someone over the phone that you've never met before to make maybe take off your sunglasses so you can look
I
them
mean,
eye
they
to
were
eye?
you could see through them. They were clear, kinda, they were just a little bit smoky, but they weren't anyway,
Yeah,
the whole
that's
thing
true.
was it could have been like the butt crack of dawn where she was, like, it could have
Yeah,
been
that's
like
true.
5 in the morning.
Yeah, that's true.
So, um, friend sister Tiffany is like, "Why didn't you delete the app?" And Riley keeps saying, just answer her." And she says, "Okay, before I answer her, I need to ask you," to Riley, "How did you know I was on the dating page?"
No.
And he's like, "No, no, no, this is not about you. This has to do with you and Tiffany," which is also stupid because if it was a conversation that she was supposed to be having only with Tiffany, he shouldn't have come back to the table.
Right. But
Yeah.
also, she's fully gaslighting. It's like, I popped on your computer to check my email and saw that you have torture porn where you're posing teenage boys like mannequins. And then the person's
Ugh.
like, why were you using my computer?
You shouldn't be looking at my email. Then you won't see things like that. It's your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, "How did you know I was on the dating page?" He goes, "This is not
Sorry,
about
that
you.
got
This has
real dark.
That just really took a Dateline turn.
Yeah.
He says, "This has to do with you and Tiffany." And she goes, "Okay, I'll explain. So I deleted the app on my phone, but I didn't know the password, so I couldn't go on the website to delete it." Now, to me, that makes sense because the old lady,
I
it happens to
understand.
me all the time.
Okay. Okay. The way you're explaining it, I didn't understand what she was saying. That makes
Like,
sense.
like she deleted it and
But
then
she
just
still has an account.
because she didn't know the password to go in. Like that,
But
that happens.
can you just delete your profile or would you just stop being active on it? Like did
I don't,
he
I
made
don't
it sound like
know.
she was like still active on the app or was
Right.
it just her
Just,
account was still
just her picture was still there.
right?
And he didn't know if
Interesting.
she was communicating with people or not.
Interesting.
But also you can there's a little thing on every website that says reset password. And they'll send you
Yeah.
an email and you can
Yeah.
reset your password. So
I
that's
do
not
it
hard.
about 6 times a day. Yeah.
I do it constantly. "Do you want to save this password?" "Sure."
Sure.
Doesn't matter because you're going
Yeah.
to save it here and it won't go there and then I won't know.
Uh-huh. I have a
So
passwords page on my color notes. I
I
have
have a note page
and
full of
it's all
passwords too.
coded so only I can understand it.
Mine is also coded. And then sometimes I don't remember what my code is for finding out my code.
Yeah.
And then John will say, "Mom, I need to know my social security number." I'm like, "It's in my notes." What did I put that under to trick myself so a murderer can't come get me and find out my son's social security number? So yeah,
I'm surprised you don't know it by heart. I kind of thought people just knew that, but maybe they don't. I mean, I
I know
just know
my social
mine.
security and I know my husband's social security because I have to do stuff with his all the
Yeah,
time, but I
but
don't
not
know
your
my
kids.
kids.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. That's a lot more numbers to memorize, Kimberly.
No, it
My brain
is.
doesn't. Yeah. So when she says, "I deleted the app and I didn't know the password, so I just didn't delete it on the website." And Tiffany says, "Well, to me, that answer is not valid." And
It's
Violet looks around.
valid, you just don't like it,
No, she doesn't like it. And
but it's
Violet says, "Oh,
valid.
okay. Okay, big problem here. Big problem here." And Riley says, "This is the reason I don't trust her. I don't believe her." And he keeps like putting the phone in her face and she's like, "Stop, stop." And I was like, "All right, just put the phone down. Have a
It did
conversation."
feel a little like an police interrogation where they take the swinging lamp
Yeah.
and they put it
Yeah.
in the person's face.
Yeah. So, let's discuss this. Do you believe her that that is why she was still appearing to be active on the app? Do you believe that?
I'm willing to believe her, but I do
Yeah.
believe there have been several shady things
Yeah.
that have happened that I need her to explain.
That he has told us he has caught her in a lie about saying she was divorced, about being on the app, and then about she applied for 2 visas, but she didn't apply for the 2
Yeah.
visas or
So a
something.
lot of
Yeah.
people online think that she's shady and she has multiple backup guys in case that
Mhm.
this doesn't work out.
Yeah. So she says, "You're killing my feeling." She says, "You kill my feeling tonight," because they were supposed
Oh,
to have a nice night and not talk about anything. And he says, "You're mad because someone I consider my family is asking you questions, but when your family asked me hard questions, I
uh-huh.
had to answer." And she says, "Well, that's because you're here. You came to see me." And he goes, "I
What
don't
is that?
care. It's a two-way street. I don't care." And he's like, "Tiffany, I'll call you back." Hangs up on Tiffany. So then she says, "How do you know I went back to the app? Because you went back too, old man."
Yeah. She pulls out the name calling again,
Mm-hmm.
which they just had a conversation earlier in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. And he says, Don't talk down to me." He says, "Okay, I don't talk down to you. I won't talk with you anymore. We're stopping now. I'm going back home." And then as she stands up, she says, "You say I got married with you and not your family." So she's trying to say, "You just said it's
Mhm.
between us and it doesn't matter what
Right.
your family says." But he
Yeah.
won't even let her talk. He's like, "Beat it. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Wasting my time. Bye. I'm tired of this shit." Blah, blah, blah.
I wish he
And
had
like
done like the in sync. Bye 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 because he's getting really, really sassy.
But, she's like, "I don't talk anymore. We're gonna stop. I'm gonna." So she gets up and huffs off. This is at least the 4th huff off she's done, and
Yeah.
probably the 3rd he's done.
Yeah.
And
They
she's
love to
like,
huff off.
"Love to huff off." So he's like, "Beat it." I was like, "Well, that's not nice." So then he looks down at his phone, and outside she talks to the producer, and she makes the following soliloquy: I am not wrong about anything. Why am I?"
That's
Okay,
my motto. That is my life motto.
that's where she starts. "I'm not wrong about anything. Why am I forced to answer that question? Even if he asked me, I would have the right not to answer, let alone by someone who's not even family. He doesn't have the right. It was very impolite. It was disrespectful and coarse. I thought it would be a great night, but he acted like a child, a psycho. He should have spoke well of me instead of interrogating me like a cop and let others insult and humiliate me and trample on me. Is he worthy to be the man I can trust my whole life to? No." All of this is over Tiffany asking one question.
Yeah.
One question.
Well done, Mary Payne. That was a good reading of that. He's not wrong. Again, like I'll say it, like I said last week, his family did the same thing to him during a very nice dinner.
Her family did the
Her
same thing to
family,
him.
sorry,
Yes.
did the same thing to him during a very nice dinner. They started accusing him of, being rude and being jealous and thinking she was lying. And he took it very well and said, "You're right. I'm sorry. I'm going to work on my behavior." She
Mhm.
will never answer when she's made a mistake. She had the same reaction to the shirtless photo guy. She's
Yeah.
very defensive, but his approach
Why
was
do I
not
have to
good.
answer it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's it. If you're in a relationship with someone, you don't have the right to not answer any questions. Is that a
According to
right?
her.
Like,
It's a right. According to her. It's a right.
what if the question is, "Are you cheating on me?" You do
I
not
have the
have a
right.
right to
I have a
plead the
right.
fifth. I
I
had
have a right to
plead the
plead the
fifth
fifth.
on that question. That's not
Mm-mm.
an answer. But his approach was all wrong.
Totally. Totally. They're both so immature. So he FaceTimes with Tiffany and goes, "Thank you for that. She just showed her ass. This is too much. It's the last straw. I'm done." I was like, you're probably not because we're on episode 8 and there's a lot more episodes to go
Everyone says they're done at least one time per season.
or per
Every
episode, even.
couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm done.
So he says to the producer, I came here with the best intentions in my heart and mind, and I got my ass handed to me. It's her way or the highway, and I don't have to put up with it. And in some ways, he's right. It is her way or the highway,
Yeah.
I think.
Mhm.
But again, he handled it wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
These two exhaust me, Kimberly.
I know.
Exhausted.
It's just bad. I don't think they've ever had they have a tiny bit of fun when they're sightseeing. Maybe they should
Yeah.
just be like have it be a tour guide tourist relationship and that's it.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, listen, total segue into I was going to tell you earlier, we were talking about Kimberly and Statler. I think the two of them on this show
Um
have,
Dempsey and Statler. I'm
what did I
Kimberly.
say?
Kimberly.
You guys, Kimberly and Statler are so hot together.
Statler's adorable. I don't generally go that way, but she's adorable.
She is. Okay. So Statler and Dempsey both have amazing, amazing style, I think. And
Yes.
do you know about Quince? I'm about to tell you something that's going to blow your mind.
I'm
Okay.
ready.
Okay. Quince is my new site for luxury pieces. I'm bougie, right?
You are a
These are
bougie bee.
I am a bougie bee. These are luxury pieces without the luxury prices. I'm completely obsessed with it. Since they became our sponsor, I have gone back to the website now 3 times and purchased things. And they offer a range of must have items, and it's like 100% linen, Italian leather bags, 14 karat gold jewelry, and unbelievable cashmere for like $50.
Wow.
They have home goods like rugs and blankets, and they have men's clothes. So every time I go, I'm like, wait, now they have swimwear. Wait, now they have socks. So all their prices are 50 to 80% less than similar brands. And because they create these timeless classic styles that don't go out of fashion, you're going to have them in your closet forever. It's like no fast fashion here. So here's what I got. I got a cashmere sweater that has like a hood and black pants for my European trip. I'm going to be so stylish. Everyone's going to think I'm definitely Parisian. And then on my second trip back to the site, I got this really cute linen dress for my beach trip in a couple of weeks. Ingrid got a couple of these washable silk dresses and a
Oh,
linen dress because she's going to Italy. And I posted it on our Instagram, a
you
picture of
ladies
her in
are
her new
too
dress.
fancy.
Fancy.
Well,
But
you
everything
can
is,
look fancy but be affordable at the same time.
yes, you could, everything like I can't
It's
explain, the
crazy.
quality is exactly like what I've gotten at other stores. So everything is super well priced. And at the bottom, this is what I love. At the bottom, so let's go look for like cashmere sweater. So it's $50. You scroll to the bottom and they have a little chart that says Quince, J. Crew, Anthropology. They list all the other stores that have the exact same product and the price difference.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes. So they have a little chart that I'm completely obsessed with. So yesterday I went on Quince and I got this was the second time I went on Quince yesterday because I'd gotten myself the linen dress. I got my son. Okay, here's what I got. My son a cashmere sweater and these men's pants that are like that performance tech material. And I got myself another linen dress, a second one. And I got myself a silk dress and a 4-pack of socks. All of that was less than $300.
Unbelievable.
I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. So here's how they do it. Quince partners directly with top factories to cut out the cost of the middleman and pass the savings on to you. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. So you
Mm.
feel good about getting the high quality items that last longer and you feel good about yourself. Now, you're going to upgrade your closet this summer with Quince. Right now, you're going to go to quince.com/pinkshade to get free shipping and 365 days to return. Do you hear me? 365 days to return.
That's a year.
That's a year. You could have this thing in your closet for 11 months and be like, uh-oh, I need to return it. Yeah.
That's insane.
Isn't that insane? So it's quince.com, quince.com/pinkshade for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/pinkshade. And everybody, you guys like go and look at it and tell me what you bought and tag me on Instagram because I am going to be shopping for on this website for the rest of my life. Every time I go, I find a different section.
I'm gonna
It's very
go.
exciting.
I'm so
Very
excited.
exciting. All right. Let's move on to a guy who could use better style, and that is David and Sheila.
You know what? David has showered. So
Yes?
let's get off David's back here because that is a lot
Okay.
of progress for him.
Okay. All right.
He looks so much better showered. He really
Yeah.
does. It makes a huge difference. I have to
Yeah.
say. He's like
He's
so
a
much less greasy looking.
yeah, he's a cute man.
He
So
is when he looks clean. Yeah.
he could go to quince.com and get some better clothes. But yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they're going to meet her parents. And I was just thinking, bring the mom something. Please bring the mom something. But then we never meet the mom. I don't know. He didn't bring
Yes,
the
we
dad
do.
anything. Do we meet the
Yes,
mom?
we do, Mom. When they
Oh,
go
we do.
upstairs.
Oh, yeah, you're
Yes.
right. Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot. The mom. There's a whole thing with the mom. I forgot. You're
Yeah.
right. Um, So he does have a gift for the son, which is sweet.
Mhm.
But we saw before with Riley, you got to bring the parents something too.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
she's worried to show David the poverty that her family is living with. And
Mhm.
he hired an ASL translator coming with them to come with them, which is a wonderful idea.
Yep.
But Sheila doesn't want this stranger around, but she respects his decision until she sees the translator. Now, before we even saw the translator, I was like, please don't let it be a girl. Please don't let it be a girl. Because
Mhm.
Sheila is very sweet, but has a touch of the Mary, the Angela,
Yeah, she
the
does.
Jasmine, the Larissa, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying. So
Mhm.
uh she sees this young translator and sees, wow, she's young and she's more fluent in sign language than I am. Why couldn't he have chosen a man? She's already flipping out, but she's trying to be nice.
So
And
this girl speaks um is Tagalog in the Philippines. She speaks Tagalog, English, and American Sign Language. This girl
yeah,
speaks 3 languages. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Also, she's shady AF because she says, I'm surprised that Sheila only knows a few words of sign language. If I was in love with someone and had been with them for a couple years, I would have learned how to sign. It only took me a month to learn. She's so shady.
A month. Wow, she's fast. That's fast learning.
Wow. So then they're chatting, and David asks the girl if she's married.
Mhm.
Which is a normal question, but not to Sheila. But she thankfully doesn't know what they're talking about because the lady's like,
Mhm.
"No, I'm single," and they're talking in sign language, and Sheila's just like, "What are they talking about?" Um, and so they are signing back and forth and smiling, and then Sheila starts to lose it a little because they're smiling, and their
Mhm.
body language is saying that they're into each other, which it's not, but to her it is.
No.
So
Yeah.
she goes to her interview and she starts crying and she's so jealous. And why did he choose the young one? What if he
Mm.
wants to go be with her and not me? And the producer says, why don't you tell David how you feel? Because they're thinking, let's film this. This will be amazing. She'll have a
Right.
meltdown. But she says, no, I don't want him to see how jealous I'm being, which is maybe
Yeah.
good. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, she shouldn't be feeling that jealous. First of all, it's very sad. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to sneeze.
Okay, I will tell you that we had a Bunky reach out in our Facebook group, and I think she wrote the same thing in the reality gays Facebook group, that in the deaf
She's just
culture,
going all over all the podcasts.
well, she's just spreading her knowledge.
Mhm.
She said that in the deaf culture it is very common to right away ask all these questions, and within 5 minutes, you know how many sisters they have. Do they have a brother? Are their parents still
Interesting.
married? Yeah, that she said it's very culturally appropriate. The two of them asking all these sort of tell me, about your mom, tell me about your dad, tell all
Yeah.
these questions. But probably Sheila doesn't understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's and to me, it didn't even seem that weird. I mean, only because she was so jealous. I was like, don't ask that, David. But normally, I don't think it would be that strange.
This person's going to be hanging out with you for the next few days. It seems
Get
like
to
you
know
should
her. Yeah.
get to know her. Yeah.
So also, I'm not jealous like that. That's like one of my only good qualities is that I'm not jealous
Mm.
like that. So I wouldn't be like, yeah, let's find out if she married. She wants to swing with us. What's happening? I don't care. So go hang out with her. Leave me alone. So
Yeah.
the they get in the car and Sheila sits in the middle, maybe because she's tiny and maybe because she doesn't want them to sit next to each other. And I think it's the second thing.
Yes,
So
totally.
yeah, I was hip to that game. So she says to have the interpreter, he says, like, what should I expect? And she says, it's hot and he will sweat. And also we go downstairs and pee into a pot. And does
Mhm.
that bother you? And he says, no, it's fine. And Sheila tells us that she loves David. She isn't interested in his money. Not that he really has any if they're gonna be living in America. By American standards, he's doesn't have a lot of money, but
Right.
she's not interested in his money, and she's worried that when he sees how bad shape they're in, that that's what he'll think, that she's in it for the money. So,
Yeah.
he is really shocked when he gets there. It's very dilapidated, there's sewage water, it smells bad, there's no roof in part of the house, it's
Yeah.
in bad shape. The dad is so smiley with no teeth, but
Yeah.
just so smiley, like beaming. And she shows him around. She shows him the shower, which was a better shower than Big Ed with the big rat, if you recall.
No rat. Yeah.
No
Same
rat.
same village. Yeah.
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 And then there's like a little kitchen, which again, it does not look good, but it's
It's
he's
it is what
he's
it is what it
shocked, but it
is.
is what it is, and they make do with it, and he's, you know, like this is just it's not what he pictured. It's worse than he pictured.
I mean, don't you but here's my question, and somebody can help me with this. So she lives in these conditions and it's terrible. It's
Yeah.
abject poverty. It's very sad.
Yeah.
She lives in these conditions
Compared to what we're used to, yes.
totally. But how is she on the Wi-Fi? Like
Yeah, that
how
they don't even have running water. Maybe she
yeah, I don't
goes to into town to a internet
yeah.
cafe or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it, but okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't think after that town was destroyed by the tornado or hurricane
Yeah.
that they got the Wi-Fi up and running.
Yeah, that wouldn't be first priority. Yeah.
Yeah. So the stairs, there's stairs that go up that are very decrepit, and I
Mhm.
was thinking someone's gonna die, and then he trips and almost dies. And also he's just not built for it. He's very tall and they're
Yeah.
small, and so he keeps hitting his head on everything. And then they go see the mom, and what's going on here? Is the mom hard of hearing as well
The
as
mom must be
Sheila?
hard of hearing, but does she speak English? Because she's screaming English words into her ear.
Sheila keeps leaning over to her mom into her ear and going, "This is David, mom!"
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
that. But they didn't explain it. And I
No,
don't
they didn't.
recall if her mom is also hard of hearing because
No,
Sheila
and
has hearing loss, but I didn't
because she
understand.
stuck a broomstick in her ear.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't genetic. It was the
No,
broomstick
legitimately, it
incident.
was she stuck a broomstick in her ear on
Oh my
purpose.
gosh, how could I have forgotten the broomstick incident?
Yeah.
So the roof has these huge holes in it, and he says it breaks his heart and it's worse than he knew. And he realizes that they're surviving, but it's not great. And even the interpreter is looking around like this is not good. Like even the interpreter is like,
Yeah.
no. And so he's worried to sleep there because there's bugs and there's no running water and it's super out of his comfort zone. And if you have to go pee in the middle of the night, you are dying on those stairs. You're not going to make it on those stairs in the
No,
middle of the
you
night.
gotta get your hope your phone is charged and get your
Yeah.
flashlight on.
So he is but I felt like he was being very polite about it. He's not
Yeah.
being a rude American like we sometimes see, Big Ed. So they sit down so he can get to know the son and the dad, but the dad doesn't really talk and says to the interpreter, "How am I supposed to talk with him if I don't speak sign language?" And the interpreter's like, "That's why I'm here." He doesn't
Yeah.
totally understand the concept. This is why I'm here. And so they're just kind of sitting very awkwardly, and the son comes in and he's very cute and he's very polite. He says, "Nice meeting you." And he seems like a nice kid. He's thankful for the gift that David brought him, which was a
Mhm.
pinball game, like a
Yeah.
portable pinball game. Very cute. Good idea for a gift. And
Very.
David says he likes playing games, so maybe they could play games together and bond. And I thought that would be really cute.
Yep.
And the son says, "Does he talk?" And Sheila says, "No, he's deaf and, he doesn't talk. Is that okay with you?" And the son says, "Yeah, it's fine." Because kids don't care. He
Mm-mm.
got a pinball game, he's fine. Kids are
Yeah,
pretty adaptable to that sort of thing. So
totally.
David is happy to hear that, but then the conversation kind of stops and she's like, "Do you have any questions for David?" And the kid is like, "No, can I go play my game?" Which is normal response. "I don't have anything to ask." What would
That
he have to ask?
When the kid goes, "Ah, nothing." That
Yeah,
was such like a little kid response, like,
yeah.
No. Can I
No,
go
and
now? This
don't
is
put me on
stupid."
the
Yeah.
spot like that, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you should have fed me a question earlier, mom, if you wanted me to ask a question. Should have given me a
Totally.
list of things to ask. So,
Yes.
Sheila is very upset. She says, "This night is disappointing because my family is acting so weird because he's deaf," and I don't think that's totally yeah, I think they probably would have been awkward anytime she brought this American to their house, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I think
So
so.
but she really wants him to like her family because she wants that proposal. She wants it before he leaves on this trip. And
Yeah.
David says, "Tonight was awkward, but hopefully tomorrow will be better." And he's staying very positive. And they go and they lay down in the tiniest little bedroom on the floor. And he thinks that she seems ashamed of how she's living. And he said, "It doesn't change anything for me." And I thought, they're very sweet. And I'm still rooting for them.
I am too, and I thought it was interesting. He was like, "I wish she would have told me how bad this was," and I don't know why she didn't feel like she could, like, trust me to tell me how bad this was.
Right.
Because you can imagine, I mean, he, has a couple of jobs and lives a pretty modest life, but
Mhm.
if $100 would fix that whole entire roof,
Exactly.
then he's got it to give.
Exactly.
When we
But
get to the
she just didn't
previews.
want him to think that she was in it for the
Yeah,
money.
yeah, which is sweet. I think they're very sweet. I think that,
Her
yeah, it's
jealousy
funny
is
too.
concerning, but
It is, and it's funny too when the producer was like, "Do you wanna tell him? Like, why don't you wanna tell him, like, how you feel?" How would she tell him? She's gonna tell Amy, "Hey, Amy, tell him
oh my gosh.
I'm super jealous of you." Like, how's that
I
gonna
wish
go?
you were old and ugly and a man.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
is go away.
But, I mean, Sheila is 11 years younger than David. I mean, she's already young. She's 31, he's
Yeah.
42.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what I don't know, but Amy
She
didn't need to
her
shame
ex
her.
did a number on her. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that when David came to visit, he brought Sheila books to learn American Sign Language because maybe she, literally can use her Wi-Fi to talk to him 3 times a day. It's not gonna be like on YouTube trying to learn sign language.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't know.
I
I'm
have
still
hope
rooting
for
for them.
them.
I do
Yeah.
too. Here's who we don't have hope for, and that's Meisha and
Oh my
Nicola.
god.
My
Run.
text to you last night was like, "I hate this guy." Like, you're like, "I haven't watched it yet." I was like, "Well, prepare to be disappointed because he's horrible."
Yeah. Every episode he gets worse.
He
Like,
gets
it's
worse.
been a steady decline
Yeah, you're
since the
totally
first
right.
episode.
So they're in the car and she's like, "Why do you have these monkeys?" He's got like stuffed animal monkeys in his car. And he says, "I love monkeys, Misha. What's wrong with monkeys? Look." He looks at me with a smile. He's such a weirdo. So he's 46 years old. So let me tell you what, if I got in a car with a guy, 46-year-old guy, and he had stuffed animal monkeys in his car, I'd be like, Drop me off at the nearest police station. This is a
I would
situation."
leave the second he starts saying my name in conversation so many times.
Over and over and
It's
over.
so weird. Somebody online said they thought it was condescending, and it does actually sound a little condescending. He's
Mm,
like, "Yeah, I
mhm.
like monkeys, Misha."
You're
Like
right.
like you're
Totally.
talking to a kindergartner.
Yeah, he does. So, she says, "We had fun in downtown Haifa. We had a beer. We went to a dance club. And so
Haifa.
now Haifa. And now, oh, look at you knowing words. Um, Downtown Haifa. And they had a beer. They went to a dance club. And maybe now they're on the right track. So today he's taking her to a Catholic village. This is where he goes to church and where his best friend Wasim lives.
He has to repent from dancing in the club the night before.
He was up into club and had 2 beers, Misha.
Oh my god.
So they're walking inside, and as they're walking inside, she goes, "My God, I wish I had my hair dry. You're sweating. Don't lift up your arms." I mean,
I
and he was
He
dripping.
was, he has huge sweat stains under his arms, and
Yeah,
that she is style conscious. But
yeah,
how
and
is she even attracted to this man in the first place? There's so many other things to be unattracted about. Not not even his looks and his sweat stains. He
I
lives in
mean,
his mom's basement with no job, fishes all day, 46 years old, never had a girlfriend.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so
He
many other
gets super
things.
judgmental about 1 cigarette a year.
Yeah,
"Look at your sweat stains, sir. Do you wear
it's just
deodorant?"
And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it, Meisha." So
You're so
they're
worldly caring about sweat
yes.
stains.
They're walking around inside the church, and it's lovely, and they go up to this rooftop on this tiny little staircase, and he's like, "Watch your head, Misha. Look at the view. Look at the view. Misha, do you see that water over there? That is the Sea of Galilee, Misha, where the Lord Jesus walked on the water with the fishes and the loaves, Misha." And
Oh my
she's like,
god.
"Wow, it's so pretty. Okay, I get it. You don't have to tell me. I got it."
Now here's
So they
some
walk.
my carpe, which stop sweating.
Is
Carp
that what that
carpe? You know those that,
what?
like, sweat stuff?
No. What is it?
It's like Lumi, it's like that
Yeah, yeah.
brand, but it does the sweat stuff.
Carpe diem means seize the day.
Yeah,
So
this
it's
is like, ease your sweat and get it off your body.
carpe Carpe Suete? Yeah.
Mhm.
So they go back outside and Wasim walks up and Nicola, and Wasim goes, "Good to see you. Where's Misha?" Oh, Misha's over there with a cat. Everywhere we go, she finds a cat. So she hugs Wasim and she meets him and she's like, "Oh, this cat's kind of crawling all over me." And Nicola goes, "Don't you want to put the cat down, Misha? Let the cat go, Misha, please." And she's like, "No, no." And Wasim goes, "Oh, the cat's cute." And she's like, "Thank you. Be on my side." Talking head, Nicola goes, "Every cat she see on the street, she thinks is a mother to the cat. I don't like it. First time you meet Wasim and you're holding a small cat, you're not talking to him, you're just holding the cat." Well, she was talking to him. She was talking to him a lot.
I
She
get it
was.
because this is trying to have a conversation with Katie because
Uh-huh.
every 5 seconds, one of her cats is on her lap and she wants me to talk to it, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to talk to her. I get
Yeah.
it, but he's a jerk. She's being adorable with that cat, and, like, who wouldn't
Yeah.
want to introduce their friend to this hot girl who is, like, holding a cat and being cute? You'd be like, "This is my girlfriend. Isn't she whimsical? She picks up street cats," you know?
She's very into the street cats. And then the cat, what does the cat do? Walks right over to Wasim. Wasim is
Mhm.
snuggling the cat.
It's not a problem for anyone but
Right.
Nicola.
And also having an animal there is a good icebreaker. Yeah.
Absolutely. You can always just look at the cat and be like, "Look at that. That was cute."
Yeah. So she says, "I'd love to meet your wife." He says, "She's going to come later. You know, she's home with the baby." And she goes, "Oh, I get it." They're having a perfectly normal conversation with the cat.
She's being lovely, like, he seems to like her. She's great conversationalist. It's not
Yeah.
awkward. She's
Yeah.
like, everything is going fine, and Nicholas just has I hate him.
Oh, I hate him too. So Misha says, so Nicola goes, "Misha, tell Wasim what we've seen." She goes, "Oh, okay. Well, we've seen lots of, this and that." And Nicola goes, "Well, tell Wasim about the hotel and the view." And she goes, "Oh, yeah, it's really beautiful from the hotel." He goes, "Oh, is the hotel is
So
nice?"
weird the way he talks to her.
"Yeah." "Is the hotel nice?" And he goes, "Hotel is nice, but let me tell you what, the hotel room is like the forest. Like Tarzan lives better than that." And I am not joking. I have never seen a woman bring all of America and make a messy place in my room. I
You've
wasn't
never
expecting
had a woman in your room.
make a messy place in my room. Excuse me, sir. You're sharing this room. It's not my room. It's not
You've
your
never
home.
had a woman come to see you, and that's the problem. I
What
don't
do you mean?
understand why he thinks he is the catch in this relationship.
I don't
It
know. It's a
boggles
mystery.
my mind. And why
Same.
she doesn't see that she is the catch. She should have all the upper hand. She should have all the hand, and he should have no hand. And
There's
instead,
got to be a
there's
good-looking Catholic guy in her
yeah,
town.
I don't
Got to
understand. It's
be.
blowing my mind.
So he keeps trying to, like,
It's
talk
like
shit.
Bizarro World. It's like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone, like, when everyone has pig noses, and, like,
Yes.
she's the only one without a pig nose, and they think she's ugly. Like,
Yes.
she's smart, gorgeous, successful. What the f I can't
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. He when he keeps like, "She make a messy place in my room," and he keeps trying to talk shit, but thank God Wasim's, wife, May, walks up. So May walks up and Wasim says, "Oh, it's, now you guys are together. So is it different than when you were on the phone?" And she's totally honest. She goes, "I wasn't sure how we would be in person, but every day, like, we're learning a little bit more about each other. It's been really great to be here." And he says, "So, Nicola, how do you feel?" And he goes, "I don't know. She's crazy me about my brother. And will you tell my mom about me? It's crazy." And Misha says, "Well, my whole family knows about him, but his brother and his mom don't know anything about me. And Wasim nods and goes, yeah, he kept it a secret. And Nicola says, what do I have to tell my family? That's between me and Meisha. And Wasim goes, no, like, how can
But
you
you're
make her
not even
happy about
letting it
that?
it's not even between you and Misha because you won't even discuss it with her. So it's just
Yeah,
between you and you.
yeah. So Wasim goes, so how are you going to make her feel happy about that? And
Thank you,
Misha goes,
Wasim.
yeah, Misha goes, did you hear what he said? Like, how can you make me feel happy about that? And then he keeps on. He goes, do you know what I've done with her in the last 48 hours? She's like crazy me about my mom and my brother. And, talking head, she was like, it's starting to wear me down that he's insinuating that I'm crazy to want to meet his family when we're planning to spend the rest of our lives together. And I wish he would take this opportunity when I'm meeting with his friend to showcase our relationship that we've built already and to be excited about me being there. Instead, he's being like dismissive and insulting. And this is a side of him that I haven't seen before. And it's concerning.
How did a man who's never been in a relationship learn to gaslight so well? From
It's
TV?
just his nature. It's like she says later, it's his nature,
Yeah, it's a fundamental. Also,
part of
what
him.
in the F have you sacrificed? I have sacrificed so much. What?
No, you haven't.
What
No,
the
you
hell have
haven't.
you sacrificed?
No, he hasn't tried to get a visa to go there or anything.
No.
So they arrive back at the hotel, and as they're walking in, she's like, wow, I'm tired. He goes, to be honest with you, I'm exhausted, Misha.
Oh my god.
And
Like
she goes,
she's the
well,
problem. You're
she's the
exhausting me. Yeah.
yeah, she's the problem. And she goes, well, I'd like to go change. So I'm going to do that. And he goes, good, go ahead, Misha. And she goes, are you going to change? Because you're stinky. And he goes, no, I have no smell, Misha. So I
Oh
was like,
my
well, she just called
god,
you
we
stinky. So
saw
obviously you
maybe
do.
he doesn't smell when he sweats, but she's asking you to shower. So
Yeah.
shower.
So
He's
she's
like he
gotten,
doesn't have to try in this
no,
relationship.
because
He
he's so
thinks
hot.
cuz he's the catch, he doesn't have to try, like to try not to smell, to try not to be gross.
Yeah. It's incredible. So she comes out of the bathroom and he goes, Misha, Misha, Misha. So, how was your day today, Misha? And she goes, here's the thing. I think that you're not experienced with having a woman around. And like when I say to you, did you hear me? Are you listening? You just say no. And he laughs. He goes, right, Misha. And she goes, now she starts talking to him in his language. I want to feel like Nicola is proud and happy I am here and cares that I am here. And he says, I do care. Nicola is proud. And
Oh
she
my god.
cries.
I
And he
can't.
says, my God, Misha,
Stop.
why are you
Stop.
crying? You're too emotional sometimes, Misha. And she says, listen, when someone feels bad about something, like, should you wrap your arms around them or should you, and she's trying to say, or should you like belittle them? But he stops and starts to go towards her to grab her. And she goes, no, stop, stop, stop. You need to act from your heart. I can't just mechanically tell you how to treat me. Like, can you imagine that I'm going to live my whole life with somebody feeling like they don't care? And he goes, I do care. I do care. And what in the last 4 days have I done? I've shown you all these things. You want to see it? I'm showing you these things. And she goes, anybody can be a fucking tour guide.
Yeah, I could have hired someone. Wasim would have shown me around.
Wasim would have been happy to show you around. So he goes, so what? What do you want? Hugs? You got hugs? You want hugs, Misha?
What is
He,
wrong with this person?
he is such a dick. He is such a dick. He's like making fun of her.
I kind of am starting to blame his mother for this because
Yeah,
she's
maybe.
clearly enabled a lot of this behavior. If he's 46, still living with her, no job, there's a
Never had a
problem.
girlfriend.
Never had a
Mm-mm.
girlfriend. There's something's going on.
So in his talking head, he goes, Misha thinks she's the victim. I don't think she cries for a good reason. She thinks Nicola always needs to change and everything is good with me because I am Misha and I have experience and I know what is good and Nicola only knows what's wrong. What
Stop talking about yourself in the third person.
he has
Kimberly
switched.
doesn't like that.
Mary Payne does not like it because it's hard to keep up with when you're writing notes.
I know, especially if they both
Um,
have names that end with an A. I sometimes get them
right.
confused.
So he tells her, he goes, you think the problem's only from my side, Misha, but I see a problem from your side. But what do? I get quiet because I want the relationship to work. You're always attacking this, this, this. And I become humble and absorb like Jesus Christ on the cross. And he either says, I
No, he did
observe.
not. The gall.
He either is saying I observe or I absorb, but I think he's saying absorb. He says, I observe the persecution like Jesus Christ. You know how many things, Meisha, I could tell you about you that I don't like?
Oh my
The
God.
10 hours of makeup, all the messy clothes, Meisha, but I don't say nothing. Maybe you need to change your attitude towards me and not just do the blame all the day.
I
Well, you just
can't.
said, how many things about you could say I don't like, but I don't? However, it's the makeup, it's the hair, it's the messy room, it's the blame. So you are
Yeah,
going to say it.
I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly like Jesus on the cross.
So she's just staring at him blankly. And she goes, I'm telling you how I feel about something. And he goes, I'm telling you too how I feel about something, but you don't listen. So she says, I've never said one thing to attack your character, not one single thing. So how can I tell you how I feel? So how can I tell you how I feel if then you're going to like attack my character? So he goes, oh, Meisha, we could talk about this another 10 years. I'd like to take a shower now, Meisha.
I thought you didn't want to take a shower.
Yeah, now he does because he's trying to escape her. So the producer gets her in the corner and she says, this is weird to me how this conversation can go into telling me I'm too emotional. She kind of tears up and she says, you know what? This is his personality type. He's hardwired this way.
Yeah.
I don't I'm I don't know what to do because how could I have been so wrong and so off base after talking to him for this long?
I
So she
mean,
needs to get
you
the fuck
got
out of
a
there.
very traditional religious man who lives by the Bible, which says
Mhm.
insinuates that women are inferior. Then
Mhm.
then you think he's not going to have that attitude.
Yeah. She's like, how could I be so off base?
I mean,
Well,
I don't know what they've been talking about this whole time for 7 years. Just
that she
religion, I
hasn't
guess.
seen any of this.
She hasn't
Yeah.
seen any of this. Yeah.
So next time on Before the 90 Days, Christian and Cleo get romantic question mark.
No, they don't.
And he admits it's awkward because he doesn't know how it's going to be because he's never been with a trans woman. So, yeah, don't know what's going to happen here, but it's not going to be respectful of Cleo, I feel.
I hate him as well.
Uh, Gino and Jasmine and her sister slash child go on a bike ride where the two of them are pedaling in the front and sister is in the back, baby
Yeah,
sister in the back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Could be fun, could be a disaster because she starts talking to him about their sex life on the
Yeah.
bike.
And she says she never has an orgasm. She fakes it.
Is that what you heard from the
Yes.
therapist, Jasmine?
I think
Is that
Jasmine,
what you heard the therapist say when she said you need to go out and have build some fun memories?
and not talk about this subject.
You
Right.
heard we should have fun memories and I should ruin them by insulting your manhood.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. So Statler talks to Dempsey and was like, hey, like when you were in Thailand, our communication wasn't that great. And I was thinking, like, maybe you were cheating. And Dempsey just looks over at her
Oh, you didn't have to admit that.
and she looks over at her and says, have you ever cheated on someone? Which, of course, the answer is, yeah, and how? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a horn dog.
I'm a horn dog. I can't control myself. So Riley and Violet both say they have blocked each other now. Violet says she wrote him a long message and then blocked
So
him.
mature.
And the producer's like, have you talked to Violet? He goes, no, I blocked her. So Violet says her feelings on this is that in the questioning, Riley should have protected her. But of course, he was like, I was questioned. Well, you weren't protecting me. You were like, yeah, answer the question.
Right, right.
So they're both wrong and they're both
Yeah.
immature. And what the fuck? David's like, so I met Sheila's family last night, but we woke up in the morning and a terrible thing had happened. And we see a coffin and she's talking through some glass on the top of the coffin and crying. Who died? What happened? Kimberly, what happened?
Is it the dad with the no
Did the dad
teeth?
or the mom die in the middle of the night? Because they both look in terrible health.
They do. Oh
Who
my
died?
god, this is horrible. This could pull them closer together, but
What
this is
happened?
horrible.
One of her
Please.
parents died in the middle of the night.
I was in shock. My mouth is I can't believe it. And I didn't Google it because I don't want to be spoiled.
But they're purposefully not showing either parent standing there with her, so literally it could be an aunt or an uncle, and
Exactly.
they've tricked us.
Somebody from another village. Yeah.
Yeah, or just like her downstairs neighbor, I don't know.
Yeah. It could be like a street cat, which would still be sad, but like
It's
it's a
not a
big
cat,
coffin.
it's a coffin.
It's a large size coffin. Yeah.
Can you believe that?
I
Oh my god.
What are the odds that it's the day after he comes? Did
I
he
don't
do
know.
it?
No.
Did
Stop.
David kill somebody? Is it the
Anyway,
interpreter? And no, I saw the interpreter. I think I saw the interpreter
it's
in
not
one
the
of the
interpreter
scenes.
because Sheila wouldn't be crying over that, she'd be happy.
She could be pretending to cry if she's the one who killed the interpreter.
Oh my god.
She's pretending she's upset, but she was jealous. She killed the interpreter. Solved it.
Oh, hey, what's happening over on A Date with Dateline? You guys are, like, cranking out some content. I keep seeing on your Facebook group and on my Instagram.
Thank you. I don't believe we are doing more than usual, but not like you do. You crank it out, girl. You're a cranker.
Well, I'm a one-man band over here just
Yeah.
putting it out for the people.
Yeah.
What, like Jasmine, what no. What's going on over there? Tell me. Tell me what you're
We're still
covering and
doing like repeats. We picked another show that's on Lifetime to cover called
mhm.
Frogging, and which is this very disturbing trend. And Josh Mankiewicz is the one who told us about it, and so we've been wanting to cover the show for a long time. And Dateline's
Okay.
still on repeats, so it's when someone is living in your house without your knowledge and like moves things around and hides things and steals
Oh,
things, like living in your walls or your attic or your crawl space. And there's it happens enough that there's a name for it, frogging with a ph, and there's a show. So we're doing the first episode and
there's an
it's
entire show called Frogging?
yes, frogging colon hider in my house.
I just remember that viral video that was a long time ago that was like a camera in the corner of the room and this person like came out of somebody's wall and like crept along the top of the wall and then dropped down to the refrigerator, got something and like went back up and then got back into the wall. And you were like,
Was that
yeah.
real?
Yeah. I was like, is this
Someone
real
had
or
a
did somebody
webcam up?
set that up? Yeah.
Oh my god.
And they woke up in the morning, they're like, oh, what the hell? And so these are going to be episodes like that about you found
Yes.
out somebody
I
lived
mean,
in your
I hope
wall.
we'll get to do more. I wanna hear from people. People sometimes don't like when we drift off, but we need
Yeah.
sometimes a break from Dateline when it's just repeats all the time and we've done them all. It gets
Yeah.
stressful to go through all the old archives and try to find one we haven't done. We've been doing the
Right.
show
Yeah.
for 6 years. We've done hundreds and
A lot.
hundreds of we're running
Hundreds.
out.
Yeah.
So, it's nice to branch out and do another show. So, I hope people will be liking of it and let us
Okay,
do
so
more of them.
where do we find frogging? Because I may have to go look that up.
On Lifetime, and
Lifetime.
it yeah, so I got it on the website, but I have DirecTV. If you don't have it, it's a little trickier. You could sign up for a free trial. It's not
Yeah, yeah,
ideal.
yeah. Yeah.
Or if you have Hulu, the live TV one, I think it's on there.
Okay,
So
so it's
it's not
frog.
ideal.
Listen,
Apologies.
I might just want to listen to you and Katie talk about it
Yeah,
instead.
it's really crazy, like very
Okay,
disturbing. The it this We tried to pick the most disturbing one to start with, and it's
great.
incredibly disturbing. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll listen to you guys talk. I'd love to listen to you guys talk about anything, so I'm excited about that.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Mm. And you guys have a new Facebook group. Is that just for
We have
Patroni?
Yes, we do. We have
Yes,
by popular request.
and I'm in there.
I know.
I'm a patron, and
You're
so I'm in
so
the group.
sweet, and I'm a
Mm.
Patreon of yours as well.
That's right. You actually are the one that kind of encouraged me to, as Pink Shade, like join Patreon to like show my support as Pink Shade to join. It kind of encouraged me to do that.
Oh, thank you. I
I mean,
love
you
that.
didn't say it. I just thought that's a really nice thing to do. I should support my fellow podcasters by joining their Patreon. And I did.
I like to do that. There's a lot more I should sign up for. So if someone's listening and they're like, "She's not subscribed to me," well, I don't have all
Mm,
the money in the world.
no,
Get
no.
off my back, people.
Yeah,
Doing the best I
you
can.
too. You too can join Pink Shade Patreon or Supercast. You go
Well
to
worth it.
Yeah, you go to pinkshadepodcast.com and click where it says Prime bonus content. You can choose there, Supercast or Patreon, whatever is your liking. And I'm over there talking to Kimberly's podcasting partner, Katie, about 90 Day UK. That should come out on Wednesdays. That's the plan.
Is that the first episode? You haven't done yet. You haven't released any yet, right?
Well, yeah, we released
Oh, you
episode
did. You
1.
released one.
Yeah,
Okay.
90 Day UK is on our $10 level, and episode 2 will come out this week. And people are jumping ahead because they put out 3 at once, and then now they're doing like 4. And I'm like, I can do 1 at a time. I can't do
Oh
3
my
at a time.
god.
I'm sorry. They released 3 at a time. It's not my fault.
That's so confusing.
It's
And
a
who
lot.
is back? Katie and
Yeah,
Alejandro.
but we haven't seen them yet. We've had all
Okay.
new people so far.
Oh, all new people. So not the
Mhm.
senior lady and her ma-
Yeah. No.
the one who loved to dance and do like
Yes.
scarf dancing in the park.
No, but we have seen some beautiful seaside towns. So,
Okay, I can't wait. I'm gonna watch. So I love new people.
yeah, this
I'm
guy
gonna
named
watch.
Michael, I think his name, he lives at Clacton on Sea,
So
and he
that
has
one guy who kept saying horrific things about like women need to be pregnant and serve the
Richard.
man all the
No,
time, he's gone.
no, but you know what he did? He made a wonderful post because I follow him just like to hate follow, and I really
Yes.
shouldn't. He made a post, and it was a picture of David and Sheila sleeping on the floor in the Philippines, and was like, "Yeah, now it doesn't seem so dumb to buy a bed for somebody, does it?"
What the heck?
But I mean,
Did he
yeah,
get hate for buying a bed for her?
I
Oh,
don't
because
know.
yeah, because it made it look like it was a sex bed. Because he's like,
Yeah,
I'm sending a bed there so I can have a
a bed to sleep in. Yeah, so he had to make a post because he's just so disgusting. Richard is his name. Ugh, he's disgusting. I hate him.
no, no.
All right, guys. So make sure to follow Katie and Kimberly over on at Dateline on Instagram. And of course, please follow us at Pink Shade Pod. I put up a very funny reel that I did myself with my interview with Mark L. Wahlberg from Temptation
Oh,
Island.
I'm gonna go look
Yes.
right now.
Yes, it was a reel. I did it all by myself. And yeah, we got a lot of fun content over there. And earlier when I was talking about Quint, I posted a picture of Ingrid in her cute Quint dress.
Love
And as
it.
soon as my summer dress comes, I'll post a picture of me too. And that's it, guys. I'll talk to you on Thursday. I have on Thursday I'm going to talk to Sarah Colonna. Uh, she's a stand-up comedian. She's very funny, and she has a podcast called "Are You My Podcast?" And I can't wait to talk to her just about some Bravo things and just life in general. That'll be on Thursday, so listen over there. Talk to you later, Kimberly.
Thank you for
Bye.
having me.